Experience the unparalleled excitement of the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, a race that stands out in F1 history for its sheer unpredictability and drama. From an astonishing first-lap collision involving 13 cars to breathtaking accidents and intense rivalries, this event was packed with action. Dive into a story filled with strategic team orders, bold passing maneuvers, and an unexpected winner that will astonish you. Get ready for an emotional whirlwind as we revisit this iconic race that transformed the world of Formula One. It's a super rainy day, and we're at a famous racetrack called Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps.
It was an all-McLaren front row for the very wet start. Mika Hakkinen was cleanly away, but David Coulthard lagged back.
It's August 30th, 1998, and a big car race called the Belgian Grand Prix is about to happen. This isn't just any race. It's a part of the Formula One World Championship, where the fastest cars and drivers compete. Our hero of the day is Damon Hill, driving for the Jordan team.
1-2 is a fantastic result. We were strong all weekend, and it was a very exciting race.
Mika Hakkinen leading with 77 points. Michael Schumacher is right behind him, trailing by just 7 points. Another driver, David Coulthard, is in third place with 48 points. These three drivers are the only ones who can win the championship because there are only 40 points left to earn in the next 4 races. In the team's competition, McLaren is at the top with 125 points, and Ferrari is not too far behind with 102 points.
Ran wide out of La Source, and the next instant there was mayhem as Coulthard ran up on the exit curb and spun.
Benetton is in third, but they and the teams below them can't catch up to McLaren or Ferrari this season. Williams and Jordan are also in the race, trying to score more points. Before this big race, all the racing teams, except one called Tyrrell, went to different places to practice. McLaren practiced in 2 spots, Monza in Italy and Silverstone in the UK. At Silverstone, there were other teams too, like Williams, Arrows, and Stewart. A driver named Juan Pablo Montoya was the fastest there. Ferrari chose to practice at Monza and their own track in Maranello, Italy. Jordan was there too, but it was Coulthard from McLaren who was the quickest at Monza. Other teams, Sauber and Minardi, joined Ferrari in Maranello for practice. Benetton and Prost decided to go to different places, Magny-Cours in France and Barcelona in Spain, to get ready on their own. We're at a very wet race day. Imagine so much rain. It's like a huge storm is over the racetrack.
Having struggled with his Ferrari all season, especially in wet conditions,
Michael Schumacher was the fastest in practice, even with all this rain. They decided to start the race on time, without any safety cars to slow things down, unlike last year. As the race began, Mika Hakkinen zoomed ahead, with other drivers close behind. But suddenly, David Coulthard's car went sideways and crashed. He thought he hit another car, but really, he just slipped. His car bounced back onto the track, causing a huge crash. They had to stop the race. Imagine cars spinning everywhere. 13 drivers crashed into each other. They needed more than an hour just to clean everything up. A few drivers, like Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher, managed to avoid the crash and keep racing. Damon was just ahead of the mess, and Ralf was right behind it. Because the crash happened so early, they decided to start the race over. This time, 4 drivers couldn't join in because their cars were too damaged.
And thus swamped by the Ferraris. While Damon Hill seized the lead, Mika ran Michael wide.
When they tried again, Damon Hill led the race, which was a big deal for him. After the restart, there was more trouble. Hakkinen and another car crashed, having to leave the race. There was so much rain that the safety car had to come out to keep everyone safe until the track was clear.
Significantly, Damon Hill squeezed his Jordan through the flying wheels and debris.
Michael Schumacher was leading the race when he tried to pass David Coulthard, but Coulthard didn't move aside, and in the heavy rain, Schumacher couldn't see well and crashed into him. Both cars were badly damaged, so Damon Hill was in the lead again. Now, Damon's teammate, Ralf Schumacher, was catching up to him. The team told Damon that Ralf was faster and might try to pass him. Damon didn't want to give up his first place. He told his team boss, Eddie Jordan, they could either race each other and maybe both crash, or they could stay as they were and make sure both cars finished the race safely. But they crashed. After the big crash, Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard were very upset and argued. Team members had to step in to calm things down. Then, Schumacher went to the race officials to complain about what happened. The officials listened, but decided Coulthard didn't do anything wrong. They even asked why Schumacher drove so close to Coulthard's car in the rain. Coulthard fixed his car and got back into the race. With Schumacher out of the race, Damon Hill moved into the lead. Then, another driver, Irvine, also had to stop racing because of a spin. Soon after, there was another crash, but thankfully no one was hurt. This crash brought out the safety car again, and Hill took this chance to pit stop and still keep his lead. Now there were only 6 cars left in the race, so everyone still racing had a chance to earn points. As the race went on, Damon Hill was in the lead, with his teammate right behind him. Gina Lacey was in 3rd place. The Jordan team was now just waiting for the laps to count down to the end. Finally, Damon Hill won the race, making it his 22nd win and the first ever for the Jordan team. They were super happy because this track was special to them. It turned out that the Jordan team had asked Hill's teammate not to pass him so they could secure their win. This race was filled with so many unexpected events, making it one of the most exciting and memorable races in Formula One history. At the award ceremony, there was a funny mistake. They played God Save the Queen instead of Amran na Bfian, the Irish national anthem, because Jordan's team is actually from Ireland, even though they're based in the UK. The next time Jordan won, they made sure to play the right anthem.
So many things wrapped into those couple of hours, the intrigue, the tension.
After the race, there was some drama off the track too. Michael Schumacher, a very famous driver, was really upset with Eddie Jordan, the boss of the Jordan racing team.
Making sure that the team orders worked because I had to be sure we would finish 1st and 2nd.
He didn't like that Eddie told Ralf Schumacher, Michael's younger brother, not to pass Damon Hill during the race. Michael told Eddie that Ralf wouldn't race for his team anymore. He even paid a lot of money to make sure Ralf could leave the team. Next season, Ralf started racing for another team called Williams. A week later, Schumacher and Coulthard, who had that big crash during the race, decided to talk things out. They had a private meeting that lasted for about an hour and a half. After their talk, they came out shaking hands, promising to work together to make the rules about passing other cars clearer. Schumacher even said that Coulthard didn't do anything wrong during their crash at the race. Years later, in 2003, Coulthard admitted that the crash was actually his fault. He explained that he slowed down in a way that made it hard for Schumacher to see, which is dangerous, especially in the rain.
In order to minimize the effects of spray on the run towards Pouhon, the race leader plowed.
He said he wouldn't make that mistake again. Schumacher appreciated Coulthard's honesty and was glad they finally agreed on what happened. He said it was a long time ago, and it was nice to move past it. Let's think about how important it is to talk things out and learn from our mistakes, just like these race car drivers did. End with a positive note. And that's how, even after a big race and a big argument, people can make up and learn how to do better next time. Thanks for listening to this story of racing, friendship, and learning. See you next time for more adventures.